We back, grinding 1-3 once again. Haven't been to this casino in a very long time. It's been definitely over a year. Maybe I should start coming here more often because we booked a decent win last year and booked another pretty big win today. Let's get into hand number one. We look down at Queen 9 of Spades. I've been here for less than 5 minutes now. This is the second hand I'm being dealt in, but that was enough time for me to notice a very aggressive action player was on my left. A few positions behind me with a big stack of about 1.3k, and the max buy-in for this game is 500. And for that reason, and that reason only, I limp in. Now wait a minute. I never limp in ever, but with a guy like that behind me sometimes, man, it's best to limp, check, and just let them blast off into you. Surprisingly, the action player limps in, but the small blind saves the day and makes it 10. Basically, everyone calls. We go to flop 7 ways of 8, 7, 10. It checks to me. We're open-ended, but I still check since this action guy's behind me. My check works. The action player on the button. Actually, we're just going to call him Crazy J from now on. The action player is going to be Crazy J rest of the vlog. He makes it 50. Only the small blind and me call. 3 ways now, and we smack the turn with the jack, giving us the nuts. The small blind quickly leads out for 115, and he did it in a way where, man, and you could just tell he made it straight. On one hand, I love holding the nuts and this guy betting 115 into me. On the other hand, I wish both of us just checked it over to Crazy J and let him blast off. The small blind is definitely going to scare him off. I'm thinking I can't just call 115 though, because it'll leave me with only about 150-ish behind, which is pretty small compared to the size of the pot. I pretty much have to jam here. I jam. This puts Crazy J in a tough spot. He's tanking for a while. He's really thinking about calling here though. And, so he's got to at least have a little something. I'm really hoping for a call, but he eventually folds. Small blind snap calls, and the river changes nothing. He shows a straight to the jack. We show the nuts with the queen high straight and take it down. He's a little visibly upset, but, that's poker. Crazy J said he laid down 2 pair. Kind of pissed me off. The small blind ruined it for us. Crazy J definitely was about to bet big on that turn until the small blind led into us for 115. But, we can't be too mad there. We almost tripled our stack in the first 5 minutes. Let's go. Real quick, if you want to get better at poker, hit that sub button. And maybe, you could turn the nuts, hold, and win 1K pots like me. You could be like me. But, nah, for real though. All jokes aside, subscribe, man. It really helps grow the channel. We're getting close to 1K subs. This is a big milestone. I've been trying to hit it for a minute. But let's get on to the next one. About 20 minutes later, we pick up Queen Jack offsuit. I open for 10, and we head to the flop 4 ways of Queen 8, 9. We flop top pair. I c-bet for 20 and get 2 callers. One of them is Crazy J. Let's keep that in mind. The turn is a 6 of clubs. The small blind checks to me. I check too since Crazy J is behind. Don't really like having a guy like that have position on me. I wish I was on his left, but he bets out 100. And the small blind calls for less, only 45. This puts me in a tough spot. I mean, a guy like Crazy J, he really could throw out $100 bet here with nothing. Just because we both checked to him and he smells weakness. But then his range is very wide. So he can always have 2 pair better here. He plays, a lot of cards. I end up calling. I just can't fold every time this guy bets into me. The river is a 3 of hearts. Action's on me. I'm thinking our top pair might not be good at this point, but I still want to get the showdown. I try to block bet for 40 to avoid me checking and then him betting a massive. This is more of like a name my price at the river type of bet, but it's worked well for me in the past versus tight players. I kind of forgot to factor in that Action J is not a tight player. He's the opposite of that. He raises it 250. I fold. He shows a turn straight and takes it down. My $40 bet was still a mistake here though, cause a player like Action J, he could raise a 250 there, even with nothing. He just happened to have a straight in that moment. I need to remember player types when I'm trying to name my price of the river like that. I play for about another hour. Nothing really too interesting happens. Stay tuned though. We still got another session to go over. I left because Action J racks up, and I rack up shortly after him. The table just wasn't as good without him. 1 week later, we're in for 400 again with Ace Jack suited. There's one limp to me in late position, and I open for 10. We get 4 callers and head to the flop of 6-6-10 with 2 clubs. We got the flush draw. It checks to me, and we really can play this flush draw 2 ways. Since it checked and the board is paired, I end up c-betting for 20 and only get 1 caller. We could have slow played it, but I went with the more aggressive route. Heads up and now, and the turn is the 8 of clubs, completing our flush. Not really worried about him flopping trips and turning a boat based on how the hand was played. So I bet out a little bit over half pot for 50. He folds and we take it down. A few hands later with ace 10 offsuit, I open for 10 in early position and get 4 callers. The flop comes 4-6-2. We're out of position. This board favors their calling range, so I check and it checks through. The turn is a 10, giving us top pair, just what we wanted to see. I bet out 25. It folds to the button and he tries to bet 30. The dealer lets him know, it's 25. You can't bet 30. And he's like, oh, my bad. So he just calls. The river is an 8. I get sort of spooked since he tried to bet 30 like that on the turn. I don't know if that's a tell, like he was really excited about his hand, or maybe it could have just been an honest mistake, or again, he could have been trying to angle me there, trying to look strong to make me want to go check on the river so he can get the showdown for cheap. But I end up cautiously checking it over to him. I don't want to get 3-bet here. He checks it back. We show. We're good, and we take it down. We look down at pocket jacks, the Jimmypocketts. The straddle is on, 1 limp, so I open at 25. Only the button and the big blind call. The flop comes queen 4-6. Now the big blind donks into us for 25. Only I call. We gotta keep him honest here. The turn is the king of clubs. He checks it to me. I take this as a sign of weakness. Some people donk out on flops like that just to, see if they could just take it down. Maybe he has a queen, but either way, a bet on this king turn, it really should put him in a tough spot. So I bet 60. He folds, and we take it down. We get ace king offsuit in late position. Early position opens for 10. He is 1 caller, and I 3-bet to 40. The initial opener calls now, and then the limper jams all in for 297. This puts me in a gross spot, Not at all what we wanted to see. Like, who just flat calls 10, a $10 bet there, and then jams when I 3-bet to 40. This guy's got a minimum of pocket queens or better. He definitely has no worse than pocket queens. I mean, maybe I can fold and get away here, but it's just so hard for me to fold only 100 big blind jam with ace king. Especially at 1-3, and I'm a gambler. It just seems like such a small amount of money to me. I end up calling. Hopefully he's got queens or kings, but of course he's got aces. We brick the board and we double this guy up. Immediately next hand we pick up pocket 8s. No vid at the beginning because I was adding on and trying to take notes of the previous hand. I didn't want to pull it out and set it up, and on the flop, in case anyone was paying attention, they'd be like, he must like his hand here. He pulled it back out. And, if anyone's paying attention, I don't really want to be showing unnecessary tells. So you got this still frame for a little bit. The video starts later. But anyways, I went for 10 in middle position. Basically, everyone behind me in late position. Also, the small blind and big blind call. We head to the flop 6 ways of 6-8 jack. We flop a set. It checks to me, and I'm hoping somebody's got to have a jack here. I mean, we're 6 ways. I don't want to c-bet too small, though, since the flush draw is out there, so I make it 30. We only get 2 callers, and the turn is a 10 of hearts. 1 checks to me, and I continue for 100. They both tank call, and they tank for so long, I mistakenly think it's the river, and I almost flip over my cards. You know, they was really like almost all the way over, and the guy next to me is like, yo, wait, and then I pull him back real quick. As soon as he says that, I realized, and you know, that was also when I realized, like, shit, that might be a little messed up here, man. No, I'm not gonna lie. I was playing in the pits before I came in the poker room, and that drink lady, she was coming fast, man. She was trying to get me swatched up for real. I was getting drinks left and right, and I might not be in the right mindset to be playing poker. But anyways, back to the hand. The guy on my left is also in the hand. I feel like he definitely saw my cards. The other opponent is on the other side of the table. No way he saw it. And after they both called 100, you know, the river boats us up when the 6 pairs. Not really sure what to do here since I almost showed my cards already, but I built this pot up for a reason, for a river jam. So that's what I do for about 250-ish. The player on my left now enters another long tank. I'm starting to think maybe there's no way. Maybe he didn't see my cards at all. Because if he saw I had pocket 8s, he would have just snap fold here unless he's got a better boat or quads, which is very unlikely. I'm like, he might actually call here, but he eventually folds. The early position player on the other side of the table, he snap folds too, saying, I must damn near have the nuts here with how excited I was on the turn. Really was a big mistake by me. I did ask the guy on my left, though, if he saw my hand when I flashed it. He said, no, he missed it. He said he almost actually called me on the river with just a jack. If I bet smaller, like 100, he was calling for sure, he said. So, you know, I leave shortly after that. Still booking a win on the day somehow, even though we doubled that guy up. I hope y'all enjoyed the hands. That's it for today. We did make a pretty big mistake there at the end, but, you know, that's going to happen sometimes. We really need to just lock it in for our next session. And, you know, you see the totals, man. We booked a win both sessions, so that's always good. And not only we won at poker, but we won in the pits both times. You know, it's not too often that we win in the pits and in the poker room, so it's always nice when they align, when you win both and both. You know, you really had a good month at the end of the month. And that's it for today, man. I'll see y'all in the next one.